For each of us present here, this symbol may represent different things. For some, it may be a new beginning. For some others, it may be a botheration. And for some others, it may simply symbolize curiosity. For someone like me, this punctuation marked the beginning of a beautiful journey, of my professional journey. And like all journeys, it's filled with milestones, right? My journey is packed with questions. One of the first questions that I faced was, what's the future? And I had nothing but confusion to offer as a response. Now, I do realize that this does not necessarily paint me in good light, but believe me when I say that this was one of the best things that happened to me. Confusion is good. You might wonder why I'm stating that confusion is good. Confusion provides us with room for experimentation. It opens our minds to new possibilities. It gives us the mindset and willingness to try new things. And it is this mindset that paves the way for us to recognize new opportunities. I tried different career options, from recruiting chartered accountants into the Big Four and being a professor and teaching management concepts and principles. While I did not pursue them as my career, I did learn many important lessons that helped me along the way. Out of curiosity that was ignited through an internship 16 winters ago, I got an opportunity at Grey Caps. And at the time, my role had nothing to do with quiz hosting. But the friendly confusion that I told you about, that led me to take up the role anyway. And soon enough, I fell in love with research, content writing, and creation. So life moved on, and there was another question that came along my way. This time, the question was in the form of a challenge. A community and a website to be created to celebrate teachers of our country and beyond. What's the challenge in that, you may ask? I had to do all of it in 15 days. And to make matters worse, this particular entity was the thought seed of our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I admit it made me jittery. I was completely unsure of what I was doing. But with a lot of late nights and support from the team and my mentors, on Teachers' Day in 2013, we launched this community. Life moved on, and another question came into my life in the form of an opportunity this time. An opportunity and a chance to try quiz hosting. I realized that at that point in time, there was no other woman who had given quiz hosting a fair chance as a main profession. And I decided to get into this space, which is vastly considered male territory. And there is no reason as to why this was the case. But I did it anyway. I decided to give it a try. I understood that being fearless was the only approach I could take. And that was the only approach I could take because it was a new direction my career was taking. Had I not given it a try, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Today, if I am the first professional woman quiz host in all of Asia, it's only because I decided to give it a try. Life moved on, and of course, there were other questions that came my way. Because of the nature of my profession, I'm often asked, how did you do it? Because it's a profession that's unheard of, right? Quiz hosting. So, have you heard of any professional course that teaches you to become a quiz host? There is none. I was not trained to be a quiz host. There was nothing available at all. Fearlessness, like I mentioned earlier, was the only approach I could take towards this. And I realized that this was one of those unique professions where the only training that's available was on the job. There was no other way. There was no other training available at the time. But I still decided to give it a shot. I decided to give myself a chance. Life moved on, and the reason I decided to give myself a chance at that point was it was an opportunity for me to influence change for myself. If you want to have a positive change in your life, you have to be a catalyst for your own self. And that is what I wanted to become for myself. I decided that come what may, I'm going to take up this challenge, give it my best, and ensure that I do well. And that is how I became a catalyst in my own life. And probably along the way influenced a few others to bring about positive change in their own lives confidently. As life moved forward, it wasn't an easy journey at all, let me tell you that. From people underestimating you, from people questioning what you do, it wasn't easy at all. If you want to be that catalyst for yourself, you have to walk the road less traveled. You have to be relentless in your approach. You have to walk the distance. You have to face the resistance. Because that is the only way you will reach where you want to be. And that's all I did. Life moved on, and as I continued in my journey, I realized that being a catalyst alone was not good enough. I decided to set my own benchmarks for myself. Having the courage to be uncomfortable with the mediocrity of my own performance and pushing myself and questioning and challenging my limits day in and day out is how I have been able to carve out a unique space for myself. It wasn't easy at all. There was a lot of effort that had to be gone in. I could have easily said, been a bystander and said, I don't want to be bothered about it. Let someone else succeed. It's okay, I will do something else in my life. I could have very easily said that for myself. But I did not do that. To ensure you have to reach where you reach, you have to always take up such challenges and opportunities fearlessly and give it your all. Don't wait around for things to happen for yourselves. Make it happen for yourself. Put in the hours, put in the effort, and make it happen for yourself. What happened was, it happens in all of our lives. There will be many in our lives who will lend their opinion about you, often uninvited, but it happens to all of us. When I took on the mantle of the first female professional quiz host, there were many who said, she does not have what it takes. I decided that I'm not going to allow any one of them to define who I am and what I'm capable of. There were many who said I will not be able to manage the travel that came along with it. There were many who said, there are 5 a.m. flights for which you have to wake up even earlier. How are you going to do it? The airline food on a regular basis, which believe me only sounds great. There were few others who thought I did not have the demeanor or the flamboyance that comes with an on-stage or a TV host. But I did not listen to any one of them. I decided to write my own story. You should be the author of your own story. Do not give that power to anyone else in your life. It's your story, and you're the only one who can write it. So life moved on, and I decided I will definitely give myself a chance. One of my first biggest quiz shows was at Jalandhar, at a major university there, with over 2,000 people taking part. And when the moment arrived, there was no room for fear. There was no room for self-doubt. There was no time to think do I want to do this or not? It was thrust on me, so I decided to just give it a try. I walked up to the stage, I hosted the entire quiz, and I pleasantly surprised myself with the way I hosted. I was very happy with what I did. And that would not have happened if I had not decided to give myself a chance. As I continue, that particular challenge on that day, moving on to that big stage and hosting, is what led me to discover myself better. I think at every point in our life, we are constantly discovering ourselves, and that is a beautiful journey. And that was one of the defining moments for me where I discovered myself as well. It is very important for all of us to not be a bystander. There will be many questions and doubts that will come your way, may not be from your own self, could be from others around you as well, but do not be a bystander. Always, always ensure that you take up the challenge, put in your best effort, be fearless about it, and ensure that you make it happen for yourself. Fearlessness makes us unstoppable, and that is what helps us to bring about a change in our life. It's a beautiful feeling to be unstoppable with whatever you're doing in your life. This exact thing that I put on my screen right now and what I've been speaking of don't wait for it to happen. Try to imbibe it in your life on an everyday basis, from the smallest of the things to the largest of the goals that you have. Do not wait for anybody to bring it on a platter to you and wait around for things to happen. Always, always make things happen for yourself. That is the way to move forward. Unfortunately, women are not yet seen on many leadership platforms even to this day. I have stood on many platforms, many stages such as this, all by myself with about 10 men around me. It's a bittersweet feeling. We are often timid and we lack the courage to see the opportunity behind every challenge. We don't understand that every challenge brings with it an opportunity. We don't identify that opportunity for ourselves and take up that challenge and grab that opportunity for ourselves. Do not be afraid of the opportunities or the challenges that come your way. It is very important for you to know that the toughest of the situations in life come with a lot of opportunities. There are lessons and experiences that you will learn from all of these tough situations. Try to internalize those lessons and experiences. Tough is good. Also, remember that this particular question mark that I started with in the very beginning, this question mark, which may stop many of us, is what defines my life today. Had I been fearful of it, I would have not been the person I am today. Had I simply allowed life to move on and not do anything about it, I wouldn't have been where I'm standing today. I wouldn't have been able to carve out a unique space for myself today. Do not be fearful of the questions and challenges life throws at you. Try and have the keen eye to look at the opportunities behind these questions and challenges and make the best of it. Grab those opportunities and fearlessly approach it and give it your all. Remember, don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen for yourself. Thank you.